My name is Keith Ben. I work with Wycliffe Bible Translators and I'm the translation consultant for the Tripura Bible translation team. Now you may know that Tripura is a state of India. 70 years ago there was a war in that part of India and the Tripura people were scattered through 2 or 3 different countries. A number of years ago there was a socio-linguistic survey done to find out whether one translation was needed for the Tripura people or whether several translations would be needed, because there are many dialects of the Tripura language. This came about partly because they were scattered through other countries. I want to explain to you how socio-linguistic survey is done. We do socio-linguistic survey to help us figure out how many Bible translations are necessary when there's many dialects of a language. On the table here I have 5 pieces of paper and I'm calling them villages A, B, C, D and E. But in fact the socio-linguistic survey team may go to 150 villages or 500 villages. But I'm going to explain what is involved with just 5 villages. We have what we call a 100-word list. These are common words like water, sun, moon, cloud, the things which are in every language in the world. So you go to village A and you do the 100-word list. Then you go to village B and you do the same 100-word list, C, D, E. Then you compare the 100-word lists from those 5 villages. This is one of the tools of socio-linguistic survey. There are several tools of socio-linguistic survey. But just from the 100-word list, if you find that A to B, 95 out of 100 of the words are the same, then you go B to C and 95 there, and you find that C and A are 90% the same. Then you go to D and it's 5% different. So A to D may be only 85% the same. A to E may be 80% the same. If 80% of the words are the same among 5 dialects, one translation is good for all 5, because 1 out of 5 words is different, but people can guess what that word is in the context. But if there was 10% difference between A and B and 10% difference between B and C, already A to C you got 20%, A to D you got 30%, A to E you got 40%. There's no way that the people in the 5th village will understand the translation in the 1st village. You already need 2 or 3 translations once you get less than 80%. So 75% you definitely need 2 translations. This is just the 100-word list. Now I'll talk about a different tool. You go to village A and you say, please bring me a good storyteller. And you get a good storyteller to tell a story. Then you translate that story back into English. Then you make 10 comprehension questions. What was the name of the main actor in this story? What did he do? And you make 10 comprehension questions with the story from village A. Then you go to village B and you play the story to people in village B and you ask these 10 comprehension questions. If they get 10 out of 10, that means they understood completely the story from village A. If they get 8 out of 10, that means there's some misunderstanding there. Then you collect a story from village B from a good storyteller and you translate it back into English, then you make 10 comprehension questions. Then you go to village C. Now you've got 2 stories to play. You've got the A story and you've got the B story. And you test that with several people and do the comprehension check and take percentages. What percentage did people in village C get on the A story and what percentage did they get on the B story? Now you collect a C story. And you go to village D. Now you've got 3 stories to tell, A, B and C. And you test each of those stories with the people there. Then you collect a D story and you go to village E and you've got 4 stories to tell. And as you move through the language, you've got a range of stories to check for comprehension. And then you know that if the scripture is read in dialect A, how much of the scripture people in dialect B will understand? How much will people in dialect C understand? So using these two tools, but there are other tools, using these two tools you can begin to get a map of the whole language area. Now the Tripura ethnic group has many dialects. Sometimes two different ethnic groups have one language, sometimes one ethnic group has several different dialects. So to cover the whole of the Tripura ethnic group, there's about 6 or 8 Bible translations need to be done, because some of the Tripura ethnic group only have 60% comprehension of other dialects. Now, if you only understand 60% of what's in the Bible, you're not really understanding the Bible at all, because you're missing so much. So statistics helps us to understand where Bible translation is needed. Now, you can actually go to Google and find the Tripura Sociolinguistic Survey. Just Google Tripura Sociolinguistic Survey, and it was done in 2007. And you can read for yourself a 15-20 page sociolinguistic survey with all the statistics. I think they're on page 25. But then if you read closely, you'll find that the sociolinguistic surveyor confesses at the end that he made a mistake. When he went to dialect A, B, C, D, E, he used educated people for the sociolinguistic survey. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is that the people who are educated have gone out of the language area to go to school. So they've heard all the other dialects. So they understand the other dialects better than the ordinary village person who hasn't been out to town, who hasn't been to high school and mixed with other Tripura people who speak other dialects. So they found that their survey results were faulty because people in the village who were not educated, even if they could read Tripura, couldn't understand the other translations, which the sociolinguistic survey said they should understand, but they couldn't, because the sociolinguistic survey was skewed by the data collected.